Hello there, Tim Ostendorf, baritone and innkeeper, back again, usually with all things Joan Sutherland, but today a tribute to the beloved American soprano Phyllis Curtin, who passed away just a few days ago at the glorious age of 94. For those of you who've been watching my YouTube videos, you may know that I have a little connection with Phyllis. She was the dean of the School of Fine Arts at BU when I went there a few years back, and also I attended her seminar for singers at Tanglewood in the summer of '89. I also did the high school program, the BUTI, the Booty program, the Boston University Tanglewood Institute for Singers way back in '86. And so she was in my life a lot when I was younger, and then having had her as the dean of the school. So anyway, I had a pretty strong connection with her. A lot of my friends studied with her, and she was just a wonderful, wonderful human being. I wish I knew her better than just a young, very young little student. So tonight, this afternoon, whatever, I would like to play Ain't It a Pretty Night from her signature Susannah, the Carlisle Floyd opera that was written specifically for her. I won't go into all the other details. Well, I might touch a little bit on the Sills debacle. Of course, I do have, many of you know, I have some operatically related tattoos, and I recently got a I have had a Joan Sutherland. I got a Leontine Price, Richard Bonning. I have a little Gruberova over here, and this is an All Good Wishes Phyllis Curtin, because I invited her to my senior recital, which unfortunately she could not attend. I had entitled it From Purcell to Poulenc, and she wrote me a lovely little note. If you're friends with me on my Facebooks, you can see it. I scanned it and showed it on there. I don't have it with me at the moment, but anyway, I scanned it. It says, "Dear Tim, sorry I cannot go on your journey from Purcell to Poulenc," something like that. I'm going to be very busy, but if I have enough energy, maybe I'll come. All Good Wishes, P. Curtin. And of course, she couldn't come with me on that journey, and so on my Facebook, I wished her, here's to you on your next journey. So I'll try not to get choked up. Funny how important somebody can seem to you who didn't even really have that direct of an impact on my life, and yet I guess she did. And so this is. I don't really want to touch on the Sills thing, but even in today's New York Times, they touched on it a little bit, and you all know out there the whole bit with Sills and how she was very upset because they were going to bring Phyllis back from the Metropolitan Opera, and she'd left the New York City Opera, and they were going to stage Handel's Julius Caesar with Curtin as Cleopatra, and Sills was very upset about that, saying, well, by casting someone outside of the company, you're giving the impression that nobody within the company can do it, and of course I can do it, and if you don't do it, I'm going to rent out Carnegie Hall and sing all the arias. And I don't know if that part is really true, if she really said that or not, but there's varying degrees to that story. But it is pretty, it's something that you can't not talk about when you talk about both of them, and to have them here together. But she called it, according to the New York Times, the only heartbreaking thing in my career. And so, yes, you could go on and on and on. Would Cleopatra have made Curtin as big of a star as it made Sills? And personally, I think and I love me my Sills, but I think no matter what it would have been, I think that was an excuse, saying, oh, they're going outside of the New York City Opera and hiring someone for the Met. She used to sing with us, now she doesn't anymore, and she left us. Why should we have her back? I think it doesn't matter. If they cast someone else within the company, I think she still would have been pissed off. You know what I'm saying? But anyway, that's another thing. They're both gone now. They're both glorious, wonderful American sopranos, and Phyllis just had so much class and just this wonderful, I mentioned on my Facebook, this wonderful, unique and wholly feminine sound, and I do mean that as a supreme compliment, a wholly feminine sound. And so anyway, Ain't It a Pretty Night? There's two recordings to play of this. There's a complete live recording from 1962 with Norman Traegle as Blitch, or there is a recording of just the aria from a rehearsal from 1960, and they're both wonderful, and I tossed up which to play. I think she sounds a little better on the rehearsal, and towards the end of the live recording, the full opera, somebody shushes because they don't realize it's over, and it kind of breaks the mood. And there's something else that sort of breaks the mood, and yet I love it at the end of the rehearsal one from 1960. So I'm going to play this one, which has a bunch of other arias. There she is looking glorious. That's her. Her husband was Eugene Cook. Gene Cook, a wonderful photographer from Life magazine, who I did not know, who passed away the summer I was there as a booty student in 1986. So I didn't get to know him. But that's her as Salome. There's some wonderful little pictures in here, and a couple little quotes from her about the different arias and things like that. For example, "Ain't it a pretty night? Oh, ain't it?" These are her words. "It was my great fortune to be the very first Susannah, and I sang it many times and places until I felt that no matter how well I sang and played it, no matter how deeply I loved to do it, I was getting too old, that awful word, to look right for that healthy, lovely, free young girl. And I needed her to be herself. But this girl, this opera, and this song are engraved on my heart." And so, "Ain't it a pretty night?" I think I read that quote before doing something else, maybe when I did a comparison of Dupuis Le Jour, but I don't think I ever did. Ain't it a pretty night? Oh, ain't it? I added a little extra. Oh, isn't that nice? And here we have the glorious Phyllis Curtin. And the orchestration, and just it's a wonderful score. If you don't know it, it's probably one of the most popular American operas, and it's sort of, if you want to say, getting back to little Beverly Sills, if you want to say Beverly Sills, this is Beverly Sills' signature in many ways was Baby Doe, although it wasn't written for her and she did not premiere the role. And this Susannah is Phyllis's version of that, although it was written for Phyllis and she did premiere the role, you know what I'm saying? And so that's pretty glorious to have that. And back to a little, well, not back to, we haven't talked about it yet, except the fact that I usually give my tagline, all things Joan Sutherland, not tonight, but there is a little Sutherland connection in that there's a great, it was not released on DVD fully. I'll explain that in a moment. But there was a VHS copy or VHS release of a thing called Opera 2 to 6, and it was Bell Telephone Hour, and it was a duet, and then a trio, and then a quartet, and a quintet, sextet, right? And so you had the first one's not really a duet, kind of an extended scene of Tosca. Very strange. Why would you have Tosca? It's not really a duet, but anyway, who did it? It was Joan Sutherland leading up to Visitate, right? with Tito Gobi. And so that was very unusual because Sutherland never sang the role, and so that's kind of exciting to have that. And then the trio is from Faust, the finale from Faust, with Nicolai Guerra and Phyllis Curtin as Marguerite, and Jerome Hines as Mephistopheles Huhugu. And then the quartet is, what the heck is that? Rigoletto, of course, with Joan Sutherland. And then the quintet is Meistersinger, just mad about Meistersinger. And then the sextet is Lucia back with Sutherland and blah, blah, blah. And so anyway, there's a great little thing. They've released all of the components, the musical components, on different DVDs over the years, but not the whole thing together. And I wish they had the whole thing together, because the whole thing together has little interviews in between. And with the goofy, I think his name's Donald Voorhees, who's the conductor, for lack of a better term. I think he's passed on. Sorry, Mr. Voorhees. And so they do little interviews in between. And so when they come to the trio from Faust, Phyllis talks about Marguerite and how she thought she was a silly little ninny until she really got in touch with the character and things like that. And then she turns to Sutherland and says, and she even has a little mad scene at the end. It's very tiny. And so it's a cute little moment. She tries to make a little Sutherland connection, since Sutherland's so, famous for her mad scenes. So that's my little Phyllis Curtin connection with Joan Sutherland. And I'm sorry I had to pause in the middle of that Ain't It a Pretty Night, because if I could listen to it, I was going to be just a mess of tears. And so back to Ain't It a Pretty Night. And I'll talk about really quickly, there's a line coming up, and I'll pause for that. And I'm sorry for those of you who are like, he talks too much. Well, sorry. If you just want to listen to the thing, go buy the recording, or there's plenty of other YouTube's videos is about other things, just where you can just listen to the music. Instead, you might want to listen to my witty commentary, which really isn't going to give you much insight, except for to listen to me babble and to see my new haircut.
Just think those stars can all peep down and see way beyond where we can. They can see way beyond the mountains to Nashville and Asheville and Knoxville. I wonder what it's like out there beyond them mountains, where the folks talk nice and the folks dress nice, like you see in the mail order catalog. I aim to leave this valley someday and find out for myself, to see all the tall buildings and roll the street lights, and to be one of them folks to
This, to me, is very reminiscent of Laurie's song from the Tenderland, at least that yearning to... Laurie's a younger character. She's right on the cusp of graduating high school, that sort of thing. But Aaron Copland, Carlisle Floyd, similar Americana feel to the music. And this is a little more dramatic, but to me it has a very similar feel to that number from Tenderland. Back to this. Love that.
I wonder if I get lonesome for the valley door, the sound of crickets and the smell of pine straw.
The sound of crickets and the smell of pine straw. And the way she says that, pine straw.
Here's
another one. And blooming things.
And the mountains turning gold in the So I leave someday and see myself someday
this, in the very, 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 very far background, you can just start to hear a marching band practicing. Really. And there's something just so wonderful even about the marching band in the background that she sounded so glorious and so wonderful, and it was just a rehearsal. The thing that I forgot to pause, that I said I was going to pause earlier, she says, look at all them stars, little bat, and that's that one line where she references one of the characters, Little Bat, her little kind of friend who's a little simple, and I always think that just takes this, it makes it part of that story, but it takes that aria out of context. So if you just take that little bat right out, and then it completely stands alone. But to when she says little bat, you're like, what the heck is she talking about? And so there's just that little tiny bit that takes it out. And I think, to me, the best aria, musical song, whatever, is something that can stand on its own but still be part of the story. And so just that little bat, to me, takes it. You're jarred by it when it's a standalone piece. But anyway, it doesn't really matter. And other than that, that's the glorious Phyllis Curtin. And so thank you for who knows what. Obviously, there was something that stuck with me, and I said this in one of my videos earlier when I was discussing her Depuis le Jour. It also, I think, makes a difference when you've known someone in some context, and you've worked with somebody, and they've actually put their hands on you to help you breathe or show you where the placement should go as far as singing and things like that. So thank you, Phyllis. Thank you for that. And Tim Ostendorf signing off. Tim Ostendorf, and sorry, Phyllis, I still have to give my little plug. Tim Ostendorf from the Inn at Crystal Lake, innatcrystallake.com. Lovely little inn in Eaton, New Hampshire. Baritone, innkeeper, and maybe I'll be back with the little Joan Sutherland, but I think I covered all the bases, and thank you again, Phyllis. Hello. Tim Ostendorf back again to do a little addendum to the last video, which hopefully, if I've done this correctly, this will have been all woven together seamlessly. And so I had a little tagline about how she says, look at all them stars, little bat. And I was like, oh, I forgot to tell you about that and whatever. And because I was so, not upset, but so like emotional because of everything, right? And so Phyllis Curtin, right? So I put on the other, and then I played it. Well, leave it to her, or maybe it was Carlisle Floyd, but it was probably her. Leave it to her in that recording, because it was probably going to be just a concert version. So it was just a recording of a concert. And she was just doing that as a set piece. She doesn't sing Little Bat. She just holds that last note out instead of saying little bat. And so then I was like, well, am I making that up? Does she sing that? So of course I had to go back to the other recording, the full recording. And one of the reasons I didn't play that too, because the full recording from 1962 of the full opera, the live recording, is the sound itself isn't all that great. But I'll just play this opening just so I'm not going crazy. That actually, I think it's in the score. Well, not I think. It's in the score that she says the words little bat. But leave it to Phyllis to take that out, because she's probably like, that's not going to make any sense. I'll just sing it as is. And so there you go. Here it is. Ooh. See, even that first note. little bat. See? I wasn't going crazy because she's singing to Little Bat. So look at all them stars, Little Bat. And so, but on the other recording, she didn't sing that. At least I'm not going crazy. Might be going crazy for other reasons, but not because of that. So anyway, signing off again. Now that I corrected myself. And until next time, Tim Ostendorf again. Ain't it indeed?